The Delft community is seeing red after two teens were caught in a crossfire between rival gangs. The community has petitioned authorities to stabilise the area as gang warfare keeps flaring up. On Women's Day, 15-year-old Aqeelah Schroeder lost her life after being hit by a stray bullet while on her way to the shops. Newzroom Afrika reporter Nasiphi Same joins us live from Delft with more on that story. Nasiphi, good morning and thank you so much for joining us. What's the community's reaction to what happened on Women's Day?
Well, just in a space of about 6 days, 3 young teens were caught, females, caught in crossfire, as you mentioned, gang wars flaring up and community overcome with grief and pain, which prompted a number of these community members to petition and also call on SAPS and other relevant authorities to basically deliver services and ensure that the community, children, including the women that live here, are safe. But to talk to us further about the crime and the escalating crime in this community of Delft, I'm joined by Farida. Farida, thank you so much for your time. But paint a picture for us. I mean, in the space of 6 days, 3 young women lost their lives just this month alone.
Yes, you know, for us as a community, we're broken. Our community still have a long way ahead with healing. We are aggrieved and we feel that we're not getting the services that we as humans deserve. If we get the services from police and from the courts, then we can definitely fight the scourge of crime within our area. The area here around you is fairly new. It's 2 years old, plus minus 2 years old. But the bodies that has been recovered and I mean due to gang violence, gunshots, and then the past week on the 7th, Anne was shot in her home 4 times. She's 27 years old. She doesn't have any child. But she was shot on the Sunday, the Tuesday, Aqeelah was shot, and the Friday, Danica was shot. We as a community are still in prayer for Danica to recover from her wounds, and we pray that she doesn't have any disabilities thereafter, but she is recovering in hospital. She is in a lot of pain, but we keep praying as a community for her.
You speak about this community, it being fairly new or fairly young, two years old since its establishment, this part of Delft rather. But paint a picture for us. What goes on when the sun goes down here?
Sure, not even when the sun goes down. All the shootings happen, most of the shootings happen during the day. They don't worry anymore. We as community workers and leaders are actually very worried about our children because, as you can see, we have a school behind us and the school is in the middle of 2 gang turfs. So our fear is that it's going to happen one day when the kids have to rush around and fall around for the shooting that's going. We can't really say what is the motivation behind the shooting, but it's still very ongoing.
And Aqeelah, the petition that you submitted to authorities, what are you calling for? I mean, you're calling for visible policing and many other issues. But who was it handed over to? How many signatures do you have? And what are some of those demands that you've tabled in that petition?
In our petition to the police, we were very direct in asking for police visibility, especially in our high crime areas. But as a police, we put it as a red spot. So this is where one of the red spots that we're standing at. So we want more visibility in these areas, and we also ask that investigations be done more effectively so that we don't have cases that's been thrown out of court for insufficient evidence or lack of evidence, as they would put it, or sometimes they don't even get the perpetrators. Then the cases are just null and void. You understand? And the courts, we also, especially with GBV cases, and rape cases, we're the first in the whole of South Africa, so this is something that we really need to highlight. That the police and the courts, the Department of Justice, prioritize the safety of our women and children. We ask that there be more effective services and more accessible services. And the court has given us actually a very good answer. And they stretch out their hand to accompany us as the community representatives to SAPS on this coming Thursday. On this coming Thursday, we're having a meeting to discuss how the court can bring these services to the community.
And this street that we're standing on right in front of the school, you did say that the school is in the middle of 2 different rival gangs. But what happens here in the street? I mean, you spoke about yesterday gunshots going off.
Yeah. Yesterday we also had gunshots going off, and as usual, people would go outside and watch, but then the fear is too huge of coming out. We don't even come out. We will listen afterwards what happened. But the police, I must say, they were very effective yesterday in getting the perpetrator. Nobody was hurt in the incident. But it's still ongoing. And what our concern is there's too many guns on this road. Because if you look at it, the perpetrators is minors also in many cases. So they go to jail. They come out on their parents' supervision. But is that really doing justice to those who died by that gun? Honestly, we really can't say. But if something can be done to get our roads, these roads gun-free, then it would be perfect.
Farida there of a Delft community, obviously painting a picture how rife crime is in this community, and also speaking about the fact that many of the people that are arrested or involved in these shootings are minors. And the issue of illegal guns in their community is something that is concerning. We're hearing that about 14,000 signatures on that petition that they submitted to SAPS and the court in Bellville to obviously bring them on board to play their part in containing the scourge of violence, including gender-based violence. And Delft in its entirety is one of the 10 crime policing hotspots that have received additional members on the ground, including resources, to obviously quell the violence and gang violence that we see in this community. And Delft also was one of, and perhaps still is, one of the hotspot GBV spots where SAPS in the Western Cape has taken a key eye on in terms of, having or rather playing their part and bringing in the community to assist them in bringing down the numbers of gender-based violence. However, we are hearing that the community is far from broken and they are still reeling from the fact that 3 women were shot in a space of 6 days. 2 died and 1 is still recovering in hospital.
All right, that's our reporter Nasiphi Same in Delft. A very disturbing account of a violation of human rights in the people that are living in Delft.